Yo, what's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Jam Mint.
Milton the Manimal.
We're here with a spoiler-filled discussion on Avengers Endgame.
So if you don't want spoilers, you need to pause this video and go away.
Don't look at the comments, just keep it moving.
I mean, come back later, of course. I mean, who are we kidding here?
So I didn't want to call this a review. I just wanted it to be a discussion, right?
Yeah, because there's so much shit we got to talk about.
So much shit. So let's just jump right into it. You want to jump in scene by scene, or you want to talk about overall thoughts really quick?
Let's talk overall thoughts. I loved how it wrapped everything up, pretty much. I can't think, I'm sure something will come to mind, but everything kind of got wrapped up in a nice little bow.
Yeah, they tied up all the loose ends. It was definitely did the franchise justice.
It was pretty much a who's who of who's ever been in any Marvel movie, pretty much.
Pretty much, at least hero-wise.
I think that people I can think, like, the big missing guys on the top of my head was Odin, Heimdall.
Yeah.
Probably that's it.
Well, I mean, if you want to get to Warriors 3...
Well, but, like,
Abomination.
No. I'm just talking about, like...
They had a lot of people in the movie. Yeah, I think overall, it definitely scratched that itch. It did everybody justice. And it was a fitting ending to the whole 22-movie, 11-year saga of, like, the Infinity Saga. I think is what they're actually going to be calling that whole phase.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Be a good one.
So, this movie, man, opening scene...
Tearjerker right out the gate.
Off top. The Russo brothers... So, this is what I like about the Russo brothers. If you think about movies like The Incredible Hulk and, like, lesser... fan favorite MCU movies, they're just so cookie cutter. But when Russo brothers do a movie, it's always like, bam,
we're coming at you. They also, I felt like there was times where they merged. I'm sorry, I know we'll come back, but they merged. Speaking of the Russo brothers, they merged like the seriousness and the comedy. Well, there was even times when there was comedic portions, and in my head, I'm like, should this be here? But then I'm like, that's good. I can.
You laugh with everybody else.
With it, yeah.
The highs are very high and the lows are very low.
Yeah.
So speaking of low, the opening scene is that scene when Clint Barton, Hawkeye, is teaching his daughter how to shoot an arrow. Not Kate Bishop.
Right.
And this is, and I kind of had the feeling this is what it was. Thanos snap happens as he's outside with his daughter. His wife and his two sons are in the background playing. He turns around and everyone's gone. Yeah,
which was cool since we're kind of talking about that was we actually kind of got a little backstory, if you will, on the two Avengers missing, which we got Hawkeye there, and we also get a little bit with Ant-Man coming up, like, where the hell was he? His backstory as well, which was kind of cool.
Plays a huge role, and it confirms a lot of our suspicion that this has to do with the quantum realm and time travel. And it makes sense, right? Because what is the next scene? Do we get Ant-Man next right away?
No, this all takes place, and it's like 2 or 3 weeks post the snap. And then we get the rescue of Stark and Nebula by Captain Marvel.
So Captain Marvel rescues Stark, which makes sense because he said he was thousands of light years away.
Right.
So it couldn't have been Pepper Potts and the rescuer armor. What's it called?
Rescue,
which we do get.
Yeah, and she's on her way back to Earth to the pager technology.
Yeah, so she scoops him up, which was cool.
Yeah.
I think Captain Marvel, I think they handled her way better in this movie than her own movie.
Yes. They also really kind of like, I think we both had the same fears of Captain Marvel in this movie, and they did it well.
They gave her a lot, but they didn't do it too much.
See, I feel like they didn't give her that much. I didn't feel like it was a lot. I thought it was just the right amount.
We'll talk about it anyway. So she brings Iron Man back. He's looking frail.
Oh, dude, he's looking sickly like a month.
He was looking old as hell, sickly, skinny. I mean, he was stranded for 23 days, I think it was, or 22 days.
Yeah.
And they get the whole squad together, right? Isn't that what we do?
Well, not him. He's all grumpy. He comes back grumpy. He's pissed at Cap still.
I was right about Civil War, the Accords.
He says, you weren't there. You said you'd be there whether we won or lost, and you weren't there when we lost. Because he really kind of sees it as his battle being the definitive battle on Titan. That's the way I kind of took it.
I thought he meant you weren't there in the sense like when he went rogue and after Civil War.
No, I think he meant on Titan when he lost to Thanos.
Where was Captain America during that?
He was in Wakanda, where everyone else was as well.
Oh. Okay.
Well, a little bit after that. But of course, Tony doesn't know about Wakanda, so...
All right, so then you got Iron Man. He comes down with Nebula. Nebula's on our side. You got Cap is there with Black Widow.
War Machine.
She's kind of running the Avengers, doing these hollow meetings. No, that's 5 years later.
After, yeah.
Okay, but she's there. War Machine's there.
Rocket
Thor is there. And no, Thor. Is Thor there?
Yeah, he's there.
Oh, okay. Oh, see, I'm getting confused,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, you're thinking before the 5-year gap.
So they what do? They decide. Oh, they find on the blip. Rocket finds that Thanos used the stones again.
Right.
2 days ago. The same kind of cosmic radiation from the original snap. So they kind of find out. Nebula says, "Hey, I know where he's at. He always told me once he did his plan, he would go to the garden, which is where we see him in the trailers and everything."
So they take the ship, the old Guardian ship, and the squad all goes out there and confronts Thanos.
And Thanos is very, like, from Infinity War 1, the comic, in his farm gear, his armor's hung up as a scarecrow. He's walking through picking up fruits and everything.
And his whole head and face is almost like Two-Faced out. Like he's all trashed.
Yeah, so when he snapped, he's like, all singed on that side. And Captain Marvel goes with them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool seeing her interact with them. They're on the ship. She's flying like side by side. She does recon and it's like, there's no army there, no ships. It's just Thanos.
I kind of like, she had like a little line that too kind of implied her future as well. She was like, when they were trying to figure out where he was, she was like, I got a lot of contacts I can ask.
Yeah.
So there's, you definitely can tell that in the time she's been gone, she has a lot of story to be told. So that's kind of cool.
Well, she's like the Green Lantern of this universe. She's out in the mix.
Yeah, unfortunately. That means Novas.
So, and Nova. So they kick Thanos' ass.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he's a little roughed up.
So they come through, and he tells them that he did use the stones. He used them to destroy the stones, and it almost killed him. Or is that's after?
No, he says that. Yeah.
But then but before that, they come through, and Thor immediately. So Captain Marvel grabs his hand.
Oh yeah.
Or does she grab the headlock?
She gets headlock. War Machine has a hand,
and then boom, Thor slices his hand off with the gauntlet, and right there, I was like, "Damn!"
Like right in the mid arm.
It falls, but then that's when they notice it has no stones in it,
right?
And that's when he says he destroyed them, and they're like, "You're a liar," this and that. Nebula's like, "My father's won a lot of things, but he would never lie." And then what?
And then Thor decapitates his ass. He couldn't take it anymore, man. There was too much anger. And you could see prior to that Thor kind of like seething in Avengers Mansion, if you will.
Well, that's when he's doing his Eminem 8 Mile stuff.
Yeah.
He's got the hoodie on. He's...
Mom spaghetti.
But, he cuts his head off, man. I was like, right away, you killed Hawkeye's family. They slice his hand off with the gun. They cut his head off, and I was just like, damn.
Which was pretty cool. I liked that you had the little battle with Thanos, because I was like, what's this whole movie going to be like? Are we really not even going to see Thanos till the end? Which I thought it was cool. We kind of saw him in the beginning, and then we'll get to like kind of what happens. But
so then we go 5 years later, and I'm already like, damn, so we went a whole 5 years with this post-snap.
Right. And it's like depressing. So it's 5 years later, and everyone's just pretty much dealing with the fallout, but no one's really come to terms with it. Really, the only person who's somewhat living happily, I guess, is Iron Man.
Yeah, Tony Stark. He's with Pepper. They have a daughter. She's got to be like 3 or 4 years old or something.
But it is cool, too, because the Guardians, what's left over, War Machine's out in space as well. Or not in space, but War Machine's out. They're all kind of like doing a team still thing, where you were talking about their holo talking with Black Widow.
So having monthly meetings.
Yeah, still keeping in touch with Wakanda and whatnot as well.
And that they also kind of try to flesh out Captain Marvel as well. She's like, look, I don't think I'll be at the next meeting. I got a lot going on.
Yeah.
The Earth is not the only planet this is happening to. Literally, every other planet is going through the same thing. And
so this, though, is where we get the Ant-Man stuff.
So Ant-Man comes back.
Yeah, so Ant-Man comes back 5 years later. But it's only been, what did he say?
5 hours.
5 hours, yeah.
So time works different in the quantum realm. And that's where the whole time travel theory kind of makes a little bit sense. Because if you could jump forward in time, why couldn't you jump back? I don't know. What's the difference if you're in the quantum realm, right?
So he goes back and his car's in a shed, or like an impound, if you will. And he doesn't know what's going on. He goes and checks on his family, and his daughter is surprisingly there. I thought maybe we'd get a little info on like whether his ex-wife and stuff, but I mean, not like it mattered.
Well, and then her boyfriend or whatever, the cop.
Yeah.
But Hope's definitely gone. We saw that at the post-credit scene from Ant-Man and Wasp 2.
And
Hank. Yeah.
Janet, yeah.
So his daughter is 5 years older. That was a touching scene. And then he goes to Avengers headquarters, and we've seen that in trailers, I think. And he's like, hey, guys, it's me.
What's up?
You remember me from the airport? So
then this part, the next kind of like big revelation, well, I guess there's two that I can think of.
Yeah.
But let's go with Hulk first.
I like how they did
dope.
Hulk.
Yeah.
I already saw some people, I hate how they did Hulk.
Oh, no, I
loved
perfect.
it. I hate puny Banner that's like weak and inferior.
And I hate dumb Hulk.
Dumb asshole. That's what I said in the car on the way here.
I'm not about it.
And even he says in the movie, you got the best of both worlds.
Right.
The brains and the brawn. And I like how they did Professor Hulk.
Like a Professor Hulk, yeah.
I like how they did that. But then Thor didn't really age so well.
Man.
He came through looking like the dude.
Yo, but how about, I loved though how you saw the Ragnarok characters. Hey, we hadn't seen them in Infinity War.
Korg.
You had Korg, Meek, and even Valkyrie. I thought that was dope.
Valkyrie had the horse too. That was dope.
And Korg cracks me up, man.
Yeah.
Everything Korg says is just his accent, that like South African accent or whatever the fuck it is.
That's the director from Ragnarok too. Yeah. But Thor got dad bod now. He's super depressed, alcoholic.
He's got his beard and long hair back.
But not in the same way that he had.
He's playing Fortnite.
So they scoop him up. They got to put the team together because Ant-Man comes through telling his time travel story. And I love how they name all the movies that have time travel and like why you can't do certain things, which we find out in this movie is not necessarily true. Like killing your old self doesn't kill your new self, except for the fact that it. Oh, what am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking about fucking Mortal Kombat X. Anyway, remember we just did that yesterday with Johnny Cage? Anyway, yeah. So if you kill your old self, it doesn't necessarily kill your new self because technically your future was your past. Yeah, whatever.
It's still, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it, but just know that doesn't work that way.
Right.
It's not like Back to the Future where if he dies, the picture changes or whatever.
There's not like a butterfly effect.
No.
It's just, I don't know. Things change depending on the need of the story, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so he figures out, we have to figure out how to control the time travel in the quantum realm. So they scoop up the old squad. You got a better Hulk, not as good Thor. Who else do we get back?
Still got Rocket, Gamora, Nebula. Now they go get Hawkeye. So Hawkeye's out there now.
I feel like they get him way later, though.
No, they scoop him up because remember, he's the first test subject.
But he's basically the only crime-fighting vigilante in this new world.
So he's pretty much come to grips and saying, look, Thanos killed all these people that didn't deserve to die. Why do all these murderers still out here? And he's basically correcting it, going a little bit more so. So he's out hunting dudes and murderers.
He's hurting people that hurt people.
Yeah.
So that was cool. He was dope as hell.
He was awesome. He was badass.
Ronin, for sure. And then, what was he, in Tokyo, it looked like?
Yeah.
So they go out together. So it's funny, right away, they're not sure how this time travel thing's going to work and if it's going to hurt the person. And right away, he's like, yo, I'll do it.
Yeah, he has nothing to lose, really.
He had a dope-ass sleeve.
Yeah.
I think it was a left arm. But he was like, yo, I'm in, whatever.
They eventually convinced Tony to help out as well.
So the thing with Tony is he didn't want to do it because he has too much to lose. He's got a daughter.
Right.
He's got a wife. But his mind, he can't just let it go.
He can't shut it off.
They needed him to figure out how to control the time travel. He fucks around and figures it out.
Yeah, just somehow.
And when he figures it out, it was kind of a good scene too. He's like, shit.
He's like, I just solved time travel.
I just figured it out.
But
and Pepper knows how he is too. She
was dope.
She was down. She understands we got to save trillions of people, even if it means it fucks up our little thing that we got here.
Well, and she also saw it that it doesn't matter if you put this away. I know you're never going to be able to put this away.
Right.
It's always going to be on you. So. And his big thing is look, I'll go do this, we'll solve it, but it can't affect the future. It can't affect what we've built. And that's one of his big things. He's like, look, we'll go back and we'll bring back the people who disappeared, but everything that's happened since stays.
Yeah, and I was wondering why. Why would you let everybody live with that? But it kind of makes sense later on in the movie, I think.
Right.
But anyway, so they figured out, you get some funny scenes with Ant-Man. Was it Clint or Ant-Man?
Both. And War Machine, too, had a great... How about War Machine's line where he's like, what's up, normal-sized man? I thought that shit was dope.
Pissant. Tony calls him Pissant. Yeah. You get a lot of funny stuff like that.
And then it basically turns into what Ant-Man coins as a time heist.
And it becomes a heist movie.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Go back in time and go get all the stones before Thanos gets them, which is what I wanted out of this movie. Right. I wanted to see them in the Battle of New York from a different perspective, and they did that. They did all those other areas.
And you kind of got extra scenes.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I got behind the scenes. It was almost like behind the scenes of Avengers 1.
Hulk and crew see old Hulk doing some questionable shit to some enemies, and he's embarrassed to see it. And I think it was cool. You see Peter Quill when he's doing his dance intro from Guardians.
Right.
Imagine how that looked from the outside.
If you were just watching.
You're not hearing the music. He's just scooting around and singing off key
and I really liked the Battle of New York was the best for me because there was so much behind the scenes. You see Robert Redford's character from Winter Soldier show up. There's all these things that should have happened. Crossbones showing up, all those villains, this Jasper Sitwell showing up.
So that
was cool.
That kind of confused me. So Cap, that wasn't during the Battle of New York though. That was after.
Well, They were still... so you have to think that they probably still worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. We just didn't get introduced to them.
So that elevator scene was not the same elevator scene.
But it was like just like it. I was like, oh, damn, he's going to beat his ass in the elevator
So
again.
then, he wants to... his mission is the Mind Stone, which, what's his name, has from S.H.I.E.L.D., and he knows that they're all Hydra.
Right.
So he's saying, oh, I'm supposed to get this this thing, and then he hits him with the... Right out of the comics.
Right. Hydra Cap.
He hits him, Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra. They're like, wait, what?
And they're like, all right, I guess. Yeah. How'd they get Cap?
But then, when you saw the secretary show up, and that's... Yeah. If you think about it, that's really how it would have gone down. Like, there would have been some kind of a power struggle over these powerful things.
Yeah, that's because they're walking. Gets Loki? They're walking with the prison Loki, which is at the end of Avengers, but it shows you what happens after that.
Yeah, it was after they got past.
That was cool, man.
So that was cool.
And then you have future Tony and Ant-Man behind the scenes,
right.
Ant-Man's like, I'm gonna go inside of you now. Weird. He didn't go in Thanos' ass.
So they get the scepter.
Yeah.
They fuck up the Tesseract,
and then Loki grabs it and disappears. And I'm thinking, oh shit. What's going to happen now? But they kind of rectify that pretty quickly.
Yes and no.
I think yes.
I was thinking about that some more.
Before we jump into that, we get a new Cap versus old Cap fight, which was tight.
That was awesome. Yeah.
That was dope.
That was really fun.
So anyway, Loki disappears with the Space Stone. Where's he go? Who really cares? It doesn't matter because Cap goes back to the 70s and gets the Tesseract anyway.
Yeah, Cap and Tony.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter what happened in the 2000s.
But does it? Because it doesn't change time. That event still happens.
But it's not... There's no butterfly effect, remember?
Well, so the question is, where did Cap take the stone back to at the end of the movie? Did he take it back to the 70s, or did he take it back to...
Whatever he took it, he put it back where it was. He probably put it back in the 40s.
Yeah, but then that doesn't change the fact that Loki got it.
But remember, the continuity isn't like...
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not entirely sure.
Bottom line is, we have the stone, and we put it back.
There could be a loophole for Loki.
Well, it doesn't seem like he's going to be dead.
Yeah. All
right, so then we get the stones. Okay.
That was a cool scene, though. So they had to go back. Tony realizes, okay, we need more Pym particles, because they only had enough to go one way.
Right.
So he's like, we have to go someplace where we can get more Pym particles to come back and get the Tesseract. Mm-hmm. And he remembers that his father and Hank Pym were at a certain place at a certain time in a certain year.
Yeah.
So they go, and they kind of split up. And that was cool. Tony talking to his dad was a very touching scene. Kind of... They always had a hectic, a turmoil relationship, and they kind of squared that away.
But he gets to see how his dad is anticipating him being born.
Right.
And you also get Thor reconciling with his mother when he's on his mission.
Right.
So you know what's funny about this when I was watching it? It's definitely scenes at the end. It's a comic book movie. Mm-hmm. But during the whole movie, it's not really a comic book movie.
No.
These characters have been developed so much.
And they're wrapping them up in solving plots that things that affected, you saw it in Infinity War. Thor was so damaged by the loss of all of his family. Right. And it was all these little things happened to kind of not only fix these guys, but also fix the universe as well.
But we care about Thor seeing his mom. Right. That's how this is not a comic book movie. Mm-hmm. You care about the actual characters like a regular movie, not just a comic book movie.
And Cap gets to see Peggy Carter as well while he's back there.
And we'll double back to that. So anyway... They go back to the 70s. They get more Pym particles, which was a one-way trip. If they didn't get them, they were fucked.
Yeah.
They get them. They get the Tesseract. They got the Mind Stone. They get back. Boom. Then you have...
No, so when I was talking about Cap, he saw her then, remember? And he was in the office.
He sees her. Yeah. He doesn't talk to her.
He doesn't talk to her. He sees her, too.
But maybe that's a little bit of foreshadowing. And in his mind, he's like,
100%, yeah.
All right, so anyway, then who's getting the other stones? I don't want to talk about the Soul Stone yet.
Rocket and Thor are in Asgard, and this is post...
Right.
This is kind of the beginning of Thor Dark World.
Yeah, for sure.
Rocket's got Thor's all fucked up. Yeah. He's all drunk and fat. And he's...
Wearing a robe.
There's stuff with his mom, looking like the Big Lebowski.
His long hair's looking like dreads.
Yeah. And his mom knew who he was. Knew he was from the future.
His mom she was raised by witches.
And she kind of helped him while Rocket did all the dirty work.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jane Foster was there, and then they get the ether from her, and that's how they get the Reality Stone.
So then you had
the Power Stone. So that's what we kind of talked about.
War Machine.
Basically, while Peter Quill's dancing around like a dumbass, they knock him out and take the fucking. They take his tool, and then they go steal the orb.
And so this is kind of when you went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So in this scene,
but let me see if I got it right.
Okay.
So basically, it shows Thanos torturing old Nebula, with Gamora there. In the past, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden, new Nebula's there, so they sync up their network, and they start seeing memories from Nebula's future.
Right.
And then they're like, what the hell?
Yeah, so future Nebula's mind is on the same circuit. Yeah, and then he's like, wait, what's this?
I gotta go pee-pee.
And so him and Ebony Maw are looking at it closer, and then they realize there's a second Gamora, or a second Nebula, and they kind of like switch them out. They do a little switcherooski.
So she goes back with everybody, with all the stones, and that kind of fucks shit up. But
the young, evil Nebula.
They do the old switcheroo. A lot of tropes in this movie.
Yeah.
The switching the good to the bad, the time travel, the heist. There's a lot of tropes, but what are you gonna do?
So then we get to the most like gut wrenching stone,
The Soul Stone.
The Soul Stone.
Check it again, baby.
So Hawkeye and Black Widow show up, and they go to Vormir.
Yeah.
And as soon as they landed on the planet, I really didn't think about it until they got there, and I was like, oh damn, who's gonna sacrifice?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, I knew one of them was gonna go. I was thinking it was gonna be Hawkeye because he even mentions it like he doesn't like who he's become.
Right.
He's killed all these people. But then like Fee had it right. She was like, he's the only one who has a family and stuff to live for. So of course it would be Black Widow.
And the other foreshadowing is when you hear Black Widow, I can't remember what movie, way in the past always says, I've got a lot of red in my ledger.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear her say that again.
No, she didn't say it again, but
yeah.
that's like her character. She's always trying to make up for the shit she's done.
I was worried that somebody was going to sacrifice someone, but they didn't really love them because, first of all, that's not his wife.
Yeah, but that friendship between the two of them.
But I like how nobody makes a decision. They both want to sacrifice themselves,
crazy, yeah.
and they fight each other, kind of like play fight, but tactical fighting.
Yeah.
And she sacrifices herself, man, and boom.
She puts him in a position where he can't refuse.
You can't save her, basically, hanging off a ledge type scenario. So that was
gut wrenching.
first big death.
Yeah.
Besides, I mean, like Avengers wise. So
first main Avenger to die.
Black Widow's
original
dead.
Avenger. Yeah,
she's dead, right? And then we get Gamora back, which is interesting, but we'll talk about that later too.
Yeah.
So anyway, we come back. We have all the stones. And Iron Man makes an Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah,
how dope was that?
Well, so at first when he was so small, I was like, "Yo, how's he gonna put it on his hand?"
Because Iron Man or Thor?
Hulk.
Hulk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Thor wants to do it, but they're like, "Bro, you're a little too fucked up to be wielding these stones."
You smell like shit, probably.
But Hulk's like, "Listen, it almost killed Thanos. I'm the only one that can handle this. It's mostly gamma radiation that it lets off." He puts it on, and Hulk snaps.
Yeah.
Everybody who got snapped from Thanos back.
Right, but it destroys his arm, and like for the rest of the movie, he's kind of wearing like a little fucking arm sling.
He has the same kind of injuries as Thanos.
Yeah,
and that's.
But how about the gauntlet? Like when it expanded and got in his hand, that was dope. Like seeing Hulk with the gauntlet and the stones was awesome.
With like an Iron Man red gauntlet,
Yeah.
that's dope. And anyway, so then old Thanos comes through with old Nebula and Gamora. And
the Black Order.
Well, first, okay,
Yeah.
old Nebula gets him to come here. I forget how she tells him where they're at or whatever, but she does, right?
No, she comes back and she opens up the portal.
Okay.
She has a thing of Pym particles.
Yeah.
And she opens it up, and their spaceship sanctuary.
So Thanos comes back, puts his hat on his sword, and he tells Nebula, like, go get the stones for me. I was like, really?
Yeah.
But what's kind of gangster, so he's just sitting there, Thanos on throne-esque, and then you got Thor is on the ledge, not that far away from him,
Right.
just watching his ass. And then who comes out there with Thor?
Cap and Iron Man, the Trinity.
And they're like, yo, what's he doing? He's like,
The
nothing.
classic Trinity, which was they saw a preview of that, where it saw the three of them walking, and I remember just thinking in my mind, I cannot wait till this fucking scene.
So let's talk about it, because then, boom, the three of them fight Thanos, and it's a battle.
It is a battle.
It is dope as hell. He kind of bests Iron Man.
Ooh, we kind of missed something.
No, is it part of this fight?
No, not yet.
Okay, go ahead.
So before, when Thor left his world, he got his hammer.
He got Mjolnir
got Mjolnir.
So I was worried about the butterfly effect with that too, but I guess there is no butterfly effect. I mean...
I'll explain that. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, right now? Or?
No. When we get to that point.
So anyway, he's double wielding. So he's overweight, fat, drunk, but he's got the electricity.
Probably good thing he's got all that size now, though.
And it kind of makes me think about that Thor Breaker of Brimstone statue. I was like, did Daniel Bell know that was going to happen in the movie? Because he has him holding both of those hammers.
Right.
Little statue talk.
But that was dope.
Yeah, and then so Iron Man is like, yo, charge me up. He has all these whatever comes out of him, and Thor charges him up. He blasts Thanos. They're going toe to toe.
Cap's chucking the shield,
and then I guess Iron Man gets knocked out. Thor gets knocked out, or he's battling Thor.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, boom! Thanos gets hit with Mjolnir, and it comes back to Cap.
Yeah, you could kind of see it like jiggling, and then the next scene it gets thrown, and man,
I'm not like a talk out loud in movies guy, but I was like, yeah,
yeah, that was dope.
And
he's got the shield, and he's got Thor's hammer. It's like,
and then he's swinging it,
man.
and even Thor's like, I knew it.
Yeah.
That callback to Age of Ultron, when he budged it, which is like a fan theory too, and I like when they make good on those theories. You know what I mean?
I thought that was amazing. You could hear everyone in the theater kind of say something. Like, it was like, oh damn.
A lot of people was saying, yeah. And he was wielding the shield and the hammer. That was crazy, man. And what happens at that fight, though?
So, they fight for a while, but something we got to talk about is, so everyone else is kind of like, they destroyed Avengers headquarters. Everyone's kind of getting out of the rubble.
Like Iron Man 3 style.
But Hawkeye has scooped up the gauntlet because it came off the Hulk's hand. So
all
he's
destroyed.
Protecting it. Yeah.
All destroyed like Thanos. And did you notice when Hulk was holding it up? That's like a scene from like Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet cover. Like issue like... Damn, or Secret Wars. It's a Secret Wars cover where Hulk's got like all this rock above him. I gotta show you the cover.
So Hawkeye's like trying to scramble, and then he gets kind of sucker punched by evil Gamora, or evil Nebula, and then Gamora shows up.
And she gets the gauntlet from him. He's like, "Oh, I know you."
Right,
and then she pulls a gun on him. I thought she was gonna shoot him in the head right there.
Yeah,
I thought he was done.
I thought he was done too. So then, good Nebula and Gamora show up, and that was crazy as fuck. When good Nebula kills evil Nebula.
So I was worried that is she going to die because she killed her past self?
Right.
But again, it's not like Back to the Future. So that kind of shows you that doesn't really happen.
And that's actually... Oh, not that scene. Never mind. Sorry. Keep going.
Keep it moving.
Yeah,
so I forget what happens when the three are fighting Thanos and it doesn't work out. Oh, he just whoops them all up and then Cap gets up.
He breaks his shield.
And
destroys the shield.
And at that point, the Black Order drops down. All the Centaurians... So what are they called?
Yeah, the Sicarians.
Yeah. All the Sicari come through, the big worm thing.
His whole army, the Chitauri.
And it's looking like 1,000,000-1. And then Cap gets the beep on his ear. Cap, and I thought it was Bucky.
I didn't know who it was going to be.
I knew it was going to be... Because at this point, you got to remember, Hulk snapped everybody back.
But you hadn't really... You only had the phone call.
So Hawkeye gets a phone call from his wife who's got snapped.
And he never answers it.
So you know that everybody's back.
Right.
And then portals start opening, Doctor Strange portals, and boom, everybody starts walking out. That was another scene where I was like, yeah!
So it's like all the Wakandans, it's the Ravagers, it's the...
the Ravagers were there?
Yeah, the Ravagers were there.
Like Sylvester Stallone?
No, well, like Quill's crew, yeah. But I didn't see him, but like other Ravagers and like the Red Coats.
Oh, the Ravagers, right.
And the Wizards, the Sorcerers.
The first one that walks out is Black Panther, and you're like, yeah, fuck him up. And then... Spider-Man,
Falcon on the earpiece.
You get Doctor Strange comes through, and then
Scarlet Witch. Damn, I thought that was dope when she
Scarlet Witch was badass. What army did we have? We had the Wakandan army, right?
Yeah. Well, you had all three of those armies.
Who was it?
The Ravagers, the Wakandans, and the Sorcerers.
Oh yeah, they had nine sorcerers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was an epic battle. That trumps the airport scene and Civil War.
That was cool.
And the Infinity War.
It almost trumps the Wakanda scene.
It does. Yeah. It's the biggest battle, comic book battle in history.
And then so you're doing in history, and then so then what? Yeah, so they're all battle. Hulk jumps into it, and it's basically now it's game on. Now it's like battle to the death at this point.
Yeah, I forgot what to say. One thing when they fought Thanos in that first scene, somebody had the Hulkbuster.
Yeah, Hulkbuster showed up at one point
in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh no, Hulkbuster showed up when they got him when they killed him. That's what grabbed one of his arms and held him.
But who was piloting it?
Hulk. Banner.
No, Banner? Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so the battle was epic. I mean, I think it's even too much to talk about, but basically...
There's a lot going on.
It's a melee. You have... So they did a lot of scenes, right? They had a scene where all, like, the women of Marvel converged, and I think we're going to hear a lot about that, like...
I'm sure.
Backlash, but I don't know. To me, it didn't feel... Oh my God, it's girls. Like, I don't know, like all the women gathered up. Like literally every female hero in the Marvel universe. From Valkyrie to Wasp to like everybody. Like,
I thought that was cool. Valkyrie rolls in on her Pegasus.
The Pegasus was tight.
Oh yeah, and the Asgardians were there as well.
Asgardians.
Yeah, fighting.
And then you get Captain Marvel comes back. So at this point I'm thinking you're never gonna see Captain Marvel again because I had a feeling like the Russo brothers didn't want to overdo her because of the fan backlash and all this kind of shit. And they kind of made a good exit for her in the beginning of the movie.
See, I knew she was going to come in the end, but as that fight went on, I was like, damn, how is she not here
I forgot about it. And I kind of thought, everybody's big fear was that she's going to come through and she's going to be the hero and she's going to get the killing blow on Thanos and she doesn't deserve it. She hasn't been here the whole time, which has,
merit.
Yeah, it has merit, you know. But she comes back. She does fuck up Thanos' ship.
And Cap even says, we need a secret weapon.
And that's what we've talked about this before. That's what I wanted her role to be. All right, so had to switch cameras on us there. So yeah, that's what I wanted her role to be. I wanted her to come through as the muscle, the secret weapon, kind of like how Hulk shows up at the end of Avengers 1 to wreck shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was done really well. I thought her character was great. Some people thought she was written better in this movie than she was written in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, she had good lines. And then her final battle with Thanos was epic. Like she
it was epic.
Like, it was a struggle. They're both powerful. They're playing Mercy with the gauntlet.
She's like bending his fingers back.
So they're going toe-to-toe. He goes to headbutt her. She doesn't flinch. It doesn't even hurt her. And then he grabs the Power Stone out of his own gauntlet, fists it, and boom, knocks her to, the stratosphere. And you don't see her again for the whole rest of the movie.
Yeah. So, throughout the whole battle, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of characters going on. And I thought you got a good amount of each one. It showed Bucky fighting. You show Spider-Man interacting with Valkyrie, which was funny, too. Because it's a whole new person he's never met before.
And Pepper Potts in the rescue armor helping him out, too. Because they're trying to get the gauntlet from here to Ant-Man's van that's parked in the van by the river.
Down by the river.
Right?
It's the only working time machine left.
Because they got to get the stones back to where their original place is. And I guess they know they got to kill Thanos now because he could just go get them.
Right. Well, I don't know if he could. Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, I don't really understand how time travel works in this movie. But they got to put the stones back. What's their original place? I don't know. But,
so they got to put them back and then defeat Thanos at that point.
It's a mad dash. You have, I think it's the Winter Soldier has it, and then Black Panther has it, and they're just all trying to run through.
Hawkeye to Black Panther to Spidey
and then Thanos gets it back
to Captain Marvel.
And that's when he fights with Captain Marvel. Yeah, man.
He gets it. So then, let's get to the rough spot.
So then it gets rough. So every time Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor are fighting Thanos, I'm nervous as hell.
Yeah. I'm like Cap's dying or Iron Man's
somebody's going to get killed. Yeah. And then basically Thanos, he knocks Captain Marvel to the stratosphere. He has the gauntlet. He puts it on.
And he's getting ready.
And he's about to snap again. But Iron Man comes through, grabs his arm. He hits Iron Man away. He snaps. And that shit just sounds like a regular-ass snap. First of all, how do you snap a glove? Anyway.
Yeah.
And he looks, and there's no stones in the glove, and Iron Man straight Bloodshot style has the nanites or whatever.
Just swipe the stones right off the glove somehow.
He pulled the old switcheroo.
Yeah.
So now Iron Man has a full gauntlet on his armor.
So I thought it was great, too, because it was said earlier in the movie. And then Thanos says it again. He says, "I am inevitable." Mm-hmm. And then you get the line that arguably started the MCU.
For sure.
Which is, "I'm Iron Man."
And he pauses.
Dude, it was
He's got the gauntlet. And I already know. I'm like, he's going to snap, and he's not going to be able to survive the snap. Because Thanos and Hulk barely survived.
Yeah.
He hits him with, "I am Iron Man." He snaps, and then, boom, Thanos and his whole army start fading away to ash. Yeah. I was like, yo.
So, I mean, we talked about the battle, but I also loved how the Black Order came back just to see everyone
They
there.
were part of the battle. Drax started stabbing the big dude in the back.
Yeah.
But you know what? A lot of main characters didn't have speaking lines.
Yeah, Drax didn't say anything till the end.
Drax didn't say anything.
Mantis didn't say anything till the end.
Yeah, but some people, Fury at the end doesn't say anything.
He didn't say anything. Bucky barely said anything.
Bucky barely talked. So anyway, Iron Man, he doesn't survive that. He gets a nice farewell with Peter, with Pepper.
Okay, so Peter's went on a little long for me. I'm like, yo, move aside, let the dude's wife get in here. And then random high school guy, get the fuck out of here.
It seems like she was not as upset as I thought she would have been.
Because I think it harkens back to how she was in the beginning of the movie. She's like, you can rest now. You know, you did it.
Yeah, you can rest now. And the thing is, Peter Parker, you mentioned, it's kind of funny random high school guy, but the whole reason that he really kind of involved himself was because Peter got snapped away.
That was something that really weighed on him heavily.
It really did, and I'm like, damn, he cared about Peter Parker more than his own daughter. Kind of fucked up.
But
damn, so we get that, yeah, man, and they did it right. That's the big fear about the Captain Marvel stuff, but she played the role that I thought she should have played. I think a lot of fans would agree. And they gave the glory to Iron Man, who was willing to sacrifice himself in Avengers 1.
Right.
He was the guy that went up in space with the nuke and saw the whole shit firsthand. And he sacrificed himself again.
He's the one who's always seen this overarching, like, looming threat to Earth also. So,
and it's funny because he sees Doctor Strange during the battle, and he's like, 14 million outcomes, right? Was this the right one?
Yeah.
How are we going to beat him? And he's like, if I tell you, I got to kill you. Like,
I think Doctor Strange had like 3 lines. That was that one, and then even then when he kind of told Tony, when he looked at him, he kind of gave him the finger. Still, was that kind of saying like we got one shot?
There must be some clause like if you don't say no lines, we don't got to pay you that much. Just a non-speaking cameo. But they get it's same with Peter Quill. He didn't get that much as many lines either. Right. But they dominated Infinity War, so I guess that's why they played a backseat here. But yeah, man, Iron Man, he passes away, and then we get a little funeral. Everybody's at the funeral.
And I thought it was cool how the scene went from like Marvel families somewhat. So it was like first Tony's kind of family in the front.
It was
with
tiered.
some Cap, and then it went to like...
Even though Bucky was in the back.
Then it went to like Ant-Man stuff, and then the Guardians, and then the
whole
Wakandans.
Captain Marvel in the very back.
And the fucking little kid from Iron Man 3.
That was him, right?
Yeah.
You hear me say that in the movie?
I did, because I wasn't sure who it was either, but you're right.
And then you had Nick Fury shows with his non-speaking cameo, comes behind.
Maria Hill also.
Yeah. And then you get, Cap's got to go put the stones back. And they have a dope-ass briefcase. That's what should be the Phase 3
with all of them in
box set.
Yeah, it was dope.
A briefcase with all the Infinity Stones. And he's got to go put them back. It's his job. He's going to go solo. Sam offers to go with him.
So this is the thing you were saying about Mjolnir.
Yeah.
He had to take it back also because he has to put it back in place. That's why he took it with him.
Okay, so he took Mjolnir to put it back into place. Right. Gamora not there at the funeral with the Guardians.
Yeah, so that's a question too. Did young Gamora from the past get snapped? Or not?
Was she part of Thanos' army, and that's why she got snapped?
Because after the scene where she knees him in the balls, you don't see her again.
I mean, there's a Guardians Volume 3, so I'm sure we'll figure out what happened there. Maybe we're looking too much into it.
And there was a little scene where with the Guardians... Well, let's come back. We'll wrap up the Guardians after we wrap up Caps.
So Cap, he's supposed to be gone 5 seconds. He goes, he puts the stones back. He's not back in 5 seconds. They turn around. There's an old man fishing. They go, Sam walks over there. It's old man Cap.
Yeah.
Which, from the comics. Straight from the comics. I loved it. And he hands the mantle of the shield to Sam Alexander.
Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson, not Nova.
Yeah, not Nova.
To Sam Wilson. So, at first, I really wanted Bucky to be the new Cap.
I still do. I'm still holding out hope that he might be.
Neither choice is wrong. Both are comic accurate. But I was talking to you the old man Cap stuff is where Sam becomes Captain America.
True. But I just like the idea of Bucky as Cap better.
I was talking to my daughter, to Jay, because she really wanted Bucky to get it. But Winter Soldier can't really be Cap. He was the Winter Soldier for mad years, killing people. He literally killed Tony's parents.
But no one knows who he is anymore.
It makes sense.
And Tony's gone now, so who cares?
Sam is squeaky clean. Road dog. He's out there fighting with no powers, just a set of wings and a gun.
He has no super serum now
he's got wings
does.
and a shield.
Yeah, that's true. And guns.
So he's got more than what he had.
Yeah.
And Bucky's still Winter Soldier. He's still badass. I mean, whatever. I mean, I thought either way would have been fine, and I understand why they went the way they did, especially with the old man Cap stuff.
I kind of didn't understand how only Sam got a wrap up with Cap and not Bucky. No time with Bucky at that very last scene. I get it, but Sam's was your current road dog, but he wasn't always. Bucky's always been your man.
Yeah, so, I don't know. That was kind of weird.
I wanted a little touch on that.
We didn't really say, but Cap decides not to come back to the present, and he lives out his life with Peggy, and he lives a full life, and now he's an old man in present day. You know what throws me off? So this was 5 years later from what I'm assuming is 2018, whenever Infinity War came out. Mm-hmm. So I guess the movies will eventually catch up where they are on the timeline in the MCU, because really, I guess they're 4 years from now in the timeline.
Well, I think you have to just pause everything. Spider-Man Homecoming is going to be paused because everyone got snapped out of existence.
Far From Home?
Far From Home, sorry, yeah.
I don't know, we'll see. It'll eventually catch up, right? So
the other one we have is the other big coming together was, and I love this one too, was the Guardians. So all the Guardians wrap up on the ship, everyone's back except for Gamora, and now Thor's kind of joined them, which is big because Thor. This implies that Thor will still stay in the MCU because there was talk he might dip, but he fits in that cosmic atmosphere.
You got to remember. So New Asgard is on Earth, kind of like in Siege. Is it Siege?
Yeah, Siege.
And he gives the throne to Valkyrie.
Right.
She's more of a leader, and he's kind of going off what his mother said. Let me be the best person I am, not who I'm supposed to be.
Right.
He doesn't want to be the king, whatever. He gives it to her. That's cool. He's rolling with the Guardians.
Which the two Chris's together are hilarious.
There's a power struggle immediately, and it's funny as hell. And, man.
So that's a scene where he's searching, and he's for Gamora, and it says searching, ...
So, it shows him searching for... We don't know where Gamora is. So maybe Volume 3 of Guardians is the search for Gamora, right?
I think there will be, like, some wrap-up there. You also had kind of a touching scene with Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
So how about Vision? How about Vision being, like, the only dude who didn't show up in this movie?
Wow, Vision didn't show up. What was that all about?
He did.
Because he's a robot?
But you know what? You could see him... Sure, he could rebuild it. Like, that could happen. She dabbled with his head in Infinity War. She might have some specs. There's a chance you might see a Vision show back up.
What about how we see original Jarvis in the 70s?
So
Hank?
That was dope, too, because I'm sure you didn't watch the Peggy Carter show at all, right? So he was in that. That's the actor.
Oh, okay.
It was the same actor. So that was really cool MCU to use the same stuff.
Yeah, but they never say why Vision wasn't there.
Because he's dead. He didn't die from the snap, remember? Thanos ripped the stone out of his head. He's not a snapper.
This guy. That's why I got him on the show.
Certain people can't come back. Like Gamora can't come back. Black Widow couldn't come
Gamora
back.
didn't come back. Just old Gamora came, which is kind of
maybe. So that's the question. It doesn't correct the timeline? So Gamora still died from Soul Stone.
She doesn't know that she had a relationship with Peter. She's even like, this is the guy, and Nebula's like, it was him or a tree. So I like when who called Rocket Ratchet? I think Iron Man. Hey, Ratchet.
Hey, Ratchet. Yeah. I was thinking like Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank. That's what I was thinking too. And I was also thinking Ratchet like a dirty little skeezy little thing.
So how about when the Asgardians go, get that rabbit?
Yeah. Yo, so they had a Stan Lee cameo. Wasn't the best one though, right?
No, it wasn't.
He had a way better one in Captain Marvel and in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Right, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a good... Yeah, that one wasn't the greatest.
But he was young in the 70s, and he was yelling at the army.
He's basically a hippie, yeah.
Make peace, not war. What about when they were like, Tony Stark got a beard like a beatnik?
Looks like a beatnik, yeah. That shit was funny, too.
So, look, so moving forward, we don't have... Iron Man is dead. We don't have Iron Man. Captain America is no longer Captain America. He's Old Man Rogers. Sam Wilson is Cap. And Thor is...
Black Widow's dead.
Black Widow's dead. That's what I was searching for in my brain.
Thor's in space.
I wonder if he'll be in Volume 3, because Ragnarok Thor and Guardians vibe really well.
Yeah.
You know? So those
Him
movies...
in space, yeah, it meshes well. But that's a lot of star power in that movie. You know?
There was a lot of star power in this movie.
Like, I was thinking, like, if they do a Guardians 3, like, I'm cool with Thor being there, but I worry, like, will he overshadow the movie?
Well, Guardians 2 wasn't the best.
No.
It was okay. It was
a
one-sitter, but, like, it wasn't like the first one that I've seen 100 times.
Right.
So what else? So
Black Panther goes back to Wakanda.
And everybody's back. He's got his whole civilization. He's happy as hell. Everybody's chilling.
So we don't really get anything saying what's going to happen going forward here.
No post-credit or mid-credit scenes.
I mean, the only thing we really have MCU-wise is Far From Home.
And Guardians 3. And we know there's going to be a Black Panther sequel.
Right, but no release dates.
No. But, I mean, we know they're coming.
Yeah.
So we don't know really...
The next phase, if you will.
We don't know anything else besides those 3 movies.
Do you think Far From Home will touch on repercussions from Endgame?
I think slightly, but I don't think it will. Kind of like how Iron Man 3 played off Avengers.
Right.
It's still got to be its own movie. It's got to be its own movie, yeah. Which I don't like, but I understand, you know?
Yeah.
But that's going to be huge and like overseas with Mysterio and the elemental villains, right. Hydro Man, Molten Man, and all that stuff. So,
So do you think... Did you like this better than Infinity War?
I think I like it better because it has like a definitive ending. And Infinity War was a dope movie too. It's really 2 different movies with 2 different sets of teams, you know?
I think I loved this movie. I thought it was great. Okay. I thought it was a perfect wrap-up, but I think I like Infinity War better.
So I do like Infinity War, the Gathering of the Stones. They should have called this shit Thanos Quest and Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
They fucked up with the names. I kind of like the Endgame tie-ins. Like, they said it in Age of Ultron. They said it in Infinity War. And it lets you know that there's always been a plan, like a Feige plan.
Right.
I don't know what the next Feige plan is. I'm assuming is mutants and Fantastic Four, and we still have everyone in this universe that we have.
Feige actually said in a comment recently that our X-Men are not going to be coming for a very long time.
5 years out. But he didn't say anything about Fantastic Four.
And by not saying anything, kind of says something.
We were hoping for an Annihilus post-credit scene.
So no post-credit scene.
So Thanos is dead. Thanos is the other one that's dead.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
That kind of sucks. Thanos is dead. So that sucks for Annihilation.
Right.
You don't have to have him.
You don't have to have him. He didn't play a massive role.
No.
But
I thought it was a good movie. I can't really rank these movies. They all feel...
it was long as fuck.
It was better than Captain Marvel. It was better than Ant-Man and Wasp. It's up there.
It's going to be up in the top tier.
It's top tier for sure. How many was it? 10 movies in the top tier?
Yeah.
5 to 10? Yeah. Is it top 5?
It's hard to say. I think you almost tie it with Infinity War.
It's like
it's really like the same movie.
Imagine watching these movies back to back.
Oh, crazy!
That would be. I'm going to do it when the Blu-ray comes out or whatever.
And when you have like a spare 5 hours.
Yes,
6 hours.
I got time. Damn. So I think we covered every little nook and cranny.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool to send off for Tony too, and they had like proof that Tony Stark has a heart. They kind of, I love the continuity and like
the little hollow thing where he speaks to the crowd, to people, or to at the funeral. I thought that was touching.
A little send off for his family.
It was touching with Happy, kind of talking to the daughter, saying almost like saying like, "Look, I'm going to look after her," type situation.
Yeah, Happy was in the mix, and Happy is very much like Tony Stark.
Yeah,
like his mannerisms and his attitude and stuff.
So
man, I guess let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Anything we missed, any controversies. I know there's a lot of time travel hoo-ha.
I know there's going to be a lot of people saying whatever and whatever. I think my thing is don't overthink it.
Just got to roll with it. The Stones are back. Yeah. Nobody's going to go get him. Old Thanos isn't going to come as a baby and recreate himself. Thanos is dead in every timeline.
I guess the only like plot thread kind of left hanging is now you do have time travel out there still.
You do.
Well, if Tony's gone, maybe they can't figure it out.
It was nice to see the Ancient One kind of describe the timelines to Hulk. What about when she... Soul pushes Hulk too, man.
That was cool with her being in that movie, actually.
Yeah, that was a nice, thank you for showing up.
Right.
Like, that was dope. And Wong and everybody.
And Freya from Thor. I mean, there was so many characters.
But your boy didn't. What's his name?
Odin.
But what's the actor's name?
Oh.
Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
He's too big for that.
But even, what's his name? Hank Pym showed up, man.
Michael Douglas?
And he's a big-ass actor.
But he only had, 1 second of screen time.
Dustin Hoffman?
Oh, what'd I call him?
No, hang on.
Michael Douglas?
No, Michael Douglas is right. I'm thinking about Odin, though.
Oh,
I can't remember his name right now. Oh, well.
Damn. At the end of the day, I love the movie. It was a fitting farewell and send-off. I'm excited about the future. This movie's going to make like $1 trillion.
Oh, God.
I think it made $1 billion on pre-sales.
It's going to make... I can't wait to see it take down every James Cameron movie.
It's got to.
It makes me so happy.
Avatar, like, why is that so bad?
I want to see James Cameron cry because he complains
He already did.
Movies.
Yeah. I don't like comic book movies. Yeah, because they're fucking killing it right now. All right, man. I am beat. Yeah. After that roller coaster and just relived it all with this.
I'm starving to.
All right, so yeah, guys, hit us a like on the way out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more daily content, and we'll keep it going.
Yep.
Peace.